Hey guys, today is going to be a little bit of a different video because, well, we're inside for one, and we're talking about my food bank, or not my food bank, my seed bank. And what I'm talking about is these. These are Seminole pumpkin seeds, and right there. And I just had a Seminole pumpkin the other day. So, first of all, I collect seeds, and lots of seeds, and from this one pumpkin, I got about 120 seeds. So, what do I need 120 Seminole pumpkin seeds for? Because one seed will produce one plant, and I'll get probably 5 to 10 pumpkins off of it. This one's got, I think, a total of 6 or 7 pumpkins on that plant, and it's a really good plant. But anyway, the reason I save all my seeds and I basically have my own self-sustaining seed bank is because I'm anticipating a time when all my neighbors are going to want to grow gardens. And this is either going to be a response of a few things. Maybe just gardening all of a sudden becomes super cool and hip, and I can be like, hey, neighbors, I got all the seeds, and I'll be the cool guy on the block. Probably not. More likely, food is just going to get a little bit more expensive, and even in the last 2 years since COVID, gardening has increased a lot in popularity and interest. And there's a lot of new gardeners out there that don't really know how to garden. So that's why I make my videos, is for people who want to really understand how to actually produce food without spending a lot of money and being a part of a big commercial system. And obviously I don't do that perfectly, but I can get you started on it. So anyway, so basically the reason I collect all these seeds and I hold on to a bunch of seeds, because this is about 120 seeds here, and then I've got 5 more pumpkins out there, so that's another 500 seeds, and that's more than I'm ever going to use. So I give some to friends, but I have enough Seminole pumpkin seeds for my entire neighborhood to grow pumpkins. Pretty cool. And I would probably give each neighbor like 3 or 4 seeds, just because germination rate isn't always great. That rhymed. But the other reason people would need these seeds, if some type of disaster happened where, I don't know, for some reason there were actual food shortages. I don't think that's going to happen in America anytime soon, but probably in my life, possibly in my lifetime, and almost certainly, if not in my lifetime, it'll be in my children's lifetime. And that's just like a historical pattern, I guess, is people have to grow their own food. And so, like, this actually happened twice in my great-grandmother's lifetime, once in the Depression, and then again during World War II. They had to grow food, and I guess they didn't have to grow food during World War II, but there was a big nationwide effort to produce as much food as possible, because Europe was in ruins, and there's a lot of people over there that need to be fed, because obviously it's hard to produce food when there's a war going on. So that's why I hold on to a personal seed bank, and so I can share seed with my neighbors or whoever I come across that may need it. And these are Seminole pumpkin seeds, and the other reason I save seed and keep a lot of seed is because, honestly, I'm bad at gardening, and the best way, basically what you have to do if you're bad at gardening is you have to plant a lot of seeds, because there's a lot of genetic variability among these seeds, and I just dropped one. And because there's that variability, that means some of these are going to just be poor plants, and they're not going to produce much. And some are going to be absolute rock stars. And so I want to save seed from these rock star, Seminole pumpkins. And when I do that, I am genetically engineering or selecting. Everything's genetically modified, just in case you don't know. But including these. Now, big seed companies have never touched these. These I got from David. The seed for this pumpkin I got from David the Good, who got it from a bunch of different people. So these are just really diverse genetics. But so anyway, I'm growing these in a different location. Soil may be different, climate. It's not that different from where he grew these. But I'm growing these and selecting the plants that do the absolute best in this precise environment. And that's going to be a lot more valuable than seeds that were, say, grown in Virginia and part of a seed company and whatever. You send them to Florida, things are different. They'll probably be okay. But at the end of the day, things are going to be different. And you want these seeds that do well right here, that do well in our heat. The other reason I save a lot of seed is because our climate is just not consistent. Some winters are really warm. Some it gets down to 15 degrees or whatever. That's atypical, but it can happen. And we just don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. And so the more seed I have, the more genetic diversity I have, the better my odds are of growing a productive garden. Because I'm going to plant all these seeds, and they're going to come up, and whether I have drought or heavy rains over the summer or whatever, I'm going to have a bunch of plants. And hopefully they don't all die. Some can die. But what's going to end up happening is, say we have a drought, and I have some plants that make it through the drought, and they're a lot more tolerant of drought, then I can collect seed from those. And I have seeds that are more drought tolerant than just any random seeds you would buy at the store, because I'm selecting for specific traits. So that's why I collect seed, is for one, to share with my neighbors, and then also just to grow stuff that does really well right here in my own environment. So if you are a gardener and you're growing stuff, I would highly encourage you to collect seeds, a lot of them, all of them. Everything that does well, collect them. This pumpkin that these came from, that was an amazing pumpkin. I mean, delicious, big, lots of flesh on it. I couldn't ask for a better pumpkin. So I'm going to save all 120 of these seeds because they are good seeds, and these are good genetics. So I've got a few more out on the vine that I can harvest soon, and I'm going to have a lot of seeds, and I'm basically a seed hoarder. But that habit of seed hoarding costs no money, and honestly, it's a lot of fun. And so my backyard is the focus isn't necessarily to be productive, but the focus is breeding highly resilient and highly productive plants. These are the kinds of plants that our ancestors depended on, and even though I hope we don't have to depend on them, I want to be sober-minded and realize and not be naive that, like, the world we live in, crazy things can happen, and that's just history. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't really have my eye on anything super specific, besides Bill Gates buying up a bunch of land and fertilizer shortages because Russia and China produce oh, I'm sorry. But there's just a lot of stuff going on that's outside of my control. But my backyard and my own seeds and my own food, I actually do have some control over that. So the way I think about it is wise to have some authority and some control over the necessities of life. So that's really all my point. You guys have a great day and save some seeds.